I am super annoyed by Instagram motivators. And I'm gonna explain why and then probably become an Instagram motivator. Yes, I'm a hypocrite. But the reason why I am so annoyed by Instagram motivators is because motivation doesn't come from a quick scroll on a phone. It's not a little image. It's not the once and done type of thing. It's a daily focus. It's a deep commitment. As Jocko Willink says, it's a daily grind to stay motivated. Motivation is like breathing. And yeah, you might get a breath from your phone on Instagram, but you have to develop your mind in a way that can keep taking those breaths on its own. One of the things that I do to motivate myself, whether it's physically or intellectually, or when I have a lot on my plate and I need motivation to get it all done, I look to top performers. And what I find is top performers train. They practice. They put in a lot of time when no one is watching. I love the Rocky movies. I love the Rocky movies, especially 1 through 4. But the issue that I have with the Rocky movies is that he ends up winning or reaching his goal, even when he doesn't win in the first one, spoiler alert, because he just wants it more. In the 4th movie, he doesn't even have a sparring session. You can't win a heavyweight title fight without sparring. But the idea is he just wants it more. And what that is carrying over from the very first film, where he wants it so bad, so he puts in his time when no one is watching, stumbling up the stairs, then eventually running up the stairs and putting his arms up because he put in the time when no one was watching. So then when the lights are shining, he was able to perform. And that's what connects so many people to the Rocky movies. That's what we love about it. We see that he becomes a champion when no one is watching. I heard an interview recently about Gordon Ryan. For those of you that don't know, Gordon Ryan is the best submission grappler on the planet by far. A truly incredible martial artist. And the story was essentially that everyone sees him just demolish the competition. But what they don't see is that he trains all day, every day. Yeah, 7 days a week. Hard training in New York City or down in Puerto Rico every single day. You don't see that. You see him talking trash and winning easily, but what you don't see is the grind. Day in and day out. I did a martial arts seminar one time with Mac Danzig, former UFC fighter, and he told a story about a friend of his who went to a basketball camp when he was a kid. And at this basketball camp, it was the original dream team. Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Patrick Ewing, Michael Jordan, etc. And so because he was at this basketball camp with some great basketball players from across the country, and he was going to be training with the best players in the world, he was really nervous and couldn't sleep the first night. So he grabbed his ball, it was 3 a.m, he grabbed his ball and went down to the gymnasium on the campus. And as he was walking in just to shoot around a little bit to get his mind off of everything that's going on because he couldn't sleep, he heard doom, doom, squeak, 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 doom, 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 squeak, 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 doom, 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 squeak, 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 doom. And this high school kid walks into a gymnasium at 3 a.m. No one is there except for one person, Michael Jordan. And Michael Jordan at 3 a.m. is in this gymnasium at a youth basketball camp practicing the same crossover drill over and over and over again by himself with no one around, no one watching. Michael freaking Jordan. And that story is important. We all know Michael Jordan. We all know the game-winning shots. We all know Air Jordan. We all know the shoes. What we don't know is what it took to get there. We don't know about being up at 3 a.m. practicing the same drill over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. We just see him do it in a game. But that's where greatness is made. No one sees where greatness is made. I love the movie Free Solo with Alex Honnold, the guy who climbs all kinds of stuff with no ropes. And in that film, he's talking about one section of El Capitan that he's climbing, and he's nervous about it. So he said, I'm just gonna do it over and over and over again until I could be essentially on like the 50-yard line at the Super Bowl and just say, hey, watch this. Like one of the things I tell my students, I say, if I asked you to do something like a balance beam or something like that in front of 100 million people, could you do it? And they're often like, well, no, probably not. I said, okay. Well, what about tie your shoes? Could you tie your shoes in front of 100 million people if your life depended on it? And my students are like, yeah, I could. Well, what's the difference? You tie your shoes every day. Every day. It's almost hard to screw up tying your shoes now, isn't it? So if you want to get great at something, you have to do it day in and day out. Do it perfectly day in and day out until it's like tying your shoes. Make the extraordinary routine and ordinary through preparation and practice. Get your reps in, embrace the grind, and become a high performer if you want to be a top performer. And a few other things that might help you if you're trying to get to the top of whatever your field is is to turn your problems into goals. I love the book, The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday. And if you choose to see the problems that you're going to be confronted with as things that will stop your progress, they might stop your progress. But if you view them as obstacles that will make you stronger when you conquer them, then you will embrace those obstacles. Think of bad things happening not to you, but for you to be better. And through this crazy process, you will become more self-aware or more self-conscious. Conscious about all kinds of things around you. Conscious about what your limits are and how you can break them and exceed them. And with more self-consciousness and self-awareness, your limits will be expanded in nearly everything in your life. You will have higher highs and lower lows because you are going to see things more clearly. I get super motivated by top performers, and if I can make this video and help you to become one of those, that would be really fulfilling for me. So this was my attempt to be an Instagram motivator and annoy myself. And if it's beneficial, awesome.